Hello, everybody. Welcome to Island Fever Live. Jay and I are here with you. Jay stepped out for a second, but he'll be right back. But I have a very, very special guest with me, Dr. Karen Green. She is the Diversity and Inclusion Chair. Am I correct? Of the Democratic Party?
Right.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Island Fever Live. Thank you so much for everything you do within our community. And for those people who may not know you, Dr. Green, could you just lay out your resume for them?
No, I won't do that. Thank you for having me on the show, Candice and Justin, my beloved Justin. I'm so proud of you. First, let me just say I am an island girl. You can hear from my accent.
Yes.
I actually served as the Caribbean Coalition Director for the last two presidential election cycles. And in my recent tenure, I served as a senior advisor to Michael Bloomberg for the territories. Currently, I am by far, at this point, making sure that as a media surrogate for us going across the state and across this nation, that we, in fact, engage the Caribbean Coalition. I am a native Jamaican, as you all can hear from my accent. I'm one of us, having been in the Democratic Party for a very long time. My current role is senior advisor and consultant, major partner to Bluefields Consultants. And as well as I have been doing my philanthropy through, nonprofits. But ultimately, my role here is to make sure that we leave this country better than we found it. The Caribbean votes, as we all know, nationally is really critical to securing this victory. Right now, all of our Caribbean in this country, we're 10% of the electorate. And so we are literally making sure that we engage our voters on the issues that matter. And this is my mission today, why I'm here with you.
I want to touch a little bit on that, and welcome again. We're really blessed to have you here, fortunate to have you here with us on Island Fever Live. I want to ask about this push by the Democratic Party to engage voters here in Florida. I spoke to Corinne Jean-Pierre recently, and she said that they just cannot win Florida without the Caribbean electorate, without the Caribbean American votes. Do you share that thought process? And is this why there's been such a push in the community?
Well, I would want to respond to Karen Jean-Pierre's response as accurately. Yes, it's not just in the state of Florida, but across the country that our vote will really make a difference. The last electorate, we could see that it was only a third that, because of the electoral college, that the majority of people in this country voted for Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
Cycle. Florida has always been a 1-point state. By that, it means that it's always been close in securing Florida. The emphasis has been not just on the Caribbean vote, but also on the Hispanic vote because of the migration and the situations that cause people to be here. So yes, we're right. The Caribbean community has grown unlike any other community. And one of the things with us is that we have culturally been more aligned with the Democratic Party because of the issues of immigration, the initiatives and other issues of economics, social economics, education, all the things that matter to us from where we come from. We have long been a part of this fabric. And so this cycle, because of the mistakes that were made, particularly in Miami-Dade, we had a lot of folks within our community that really didn't support Hillary Clinton because of different issues.
Yes.
But right now, I can say that because of the lies that were told to our Haitian brothers and sisters back in 2016, the promises that Donald Trump made in Miami-Dade and in Broward County by suggesting that he was going to be more lenient to what immigration would be for TPS, which turned out to be a real false truth.
Disaster, yes.
And outside of that, the commitments that we now know that the candidate who is on the ticket in Joe Biden, who was right there next to President Barack Obama, who promised, delivered, and sealed the initiatives that it relate to, immigration with a pathway to citizenship. This is a key point of engagement to our Caribbean community.
Yes.
And as you can recall, Candice, within the last 3 years, we've heard the identifying factor of calling us people from immigrant Black and brown people, that we were from shithole countries.
Yes. Oh, I remember that well.
Let us, so we have all, what is happening now is that is playing a major role in re-engagement. But the most important piece of this, as it relates to our community, is that we are also, for the first time, seeing a Black woman, a woman of Caribbean Indian descent.
Absolutely.
And you and I know the pride we have
Oh, yeah.
of the pride we have, because most folks from the Caribbean, we all know, you and I have the same lineage. We're from the Jamaican beautiful.
Yes.
We're out of
very proud people we are. Yes.
Yeah, and the fabric of our nation is that there is no real independent culture. Yeah. It's that we are really one out of many one people. Every nationality is represented. And
I tell people all the time that every Jamaican is mixed.
Yeah.
Whether dark skin, light skin, white, all of us are mixed. We have about 3 or so races in all of us.
Right. I think one of the more important pieces too is that, I've said it, and you've seen it quoted in different articles, that every Jamaican and every Caribbean speaking person, English speaking, Creole, because that's another part of us, that the Caribbean and the Pacific and Asian communities are usually multilingual.
Yes.
So we have a whole lot of languages, and we have a whole lot of religion. There are Hindus, there are Muslims, there are Christians. We're all in this thing together. And the pride we have now in having a candidate that in Kamala Harris, that we can all identify, not just because she's a Black woman of Caribbean and Asian descent, but she's an immigrant representing every person in this country, unless you're a native Indian.
Yes. Yes. And it's also, as a Black woman, and a strong Black woman, it's good to see a woman on the ticket, but not a woman that's could be seen as a pushover. This is a very tough woman. This is a woman who, by all strengths of the imagination, all the senses of the imagination, is capable, is intelligent, is very quick thinking, and she will not hesitate to challenge Joe if she thinks he's wrong. And I applaud him for making that choice, because most vice presidents are very complicit to their president, but he chose someone who was very, very tough on him in the primaries. And for him to choose her does say something about his character.
Yeah, it's amazing you touched that piece, because I can attest to that. The first debate we held, I was there in the room when they had their first experience of competitive dialogue. And what was amazing is from the moment the candidates, made their declaration, I looked at this peer and thought, wow, this would be an interesting dynamic, right?
Yes.
So what happened then in Miami at that first debate, it was really a test of strength and compatibility. And one of the most important pieces I think we can identify is that, here is a woman who could very well, when you're the vice president, and I think it was also said in the vetting process that, when I remember that Joe Biden did mention in his prelude into this primary, is that he was being advised, and the conversations he was having was with President Barack Obama. And one of the criteria was that it should be, anyone who he selected should be ready to go and have the experience to lead. And I mean, face it, we're talking about Kamala Harris being the next person in the eventuality of any mishap to be the president of this great country.
Yes. Yes.
And with a readiness to be that. So you're right. I mean, this is no cookie.
She's ready.
This is no cookie. This is no cookie, nor a cookie cutter. And this chick is ready to roll.
And she has very strong people around her, because even Jean-Pierre, Corinne, my father, actually, before I interviewed her, my father said, "Man, I love that girl." And I said, "Why?" And he said, you remember when a gentleman tried to rush her on the stage. You know what rush means. For
Yeah.
those or those of you who aren't Jamaican, rush means charge. Um, and he and Jean-Pierre stood up to him,
Yeah.
not knowing what he was, if he had a bomb or a gun or whatever. And she stood up to him and he said, "Man, that's a strong Caribbean woman. I love that. I love that."
Yeah. I mean,
And it's such, and let me ask you this as a woman, it's so, the reaction my father had as a Jamaican man is how we grew up as Jamaican women, or seeing how Jamaican men applaud the strength of a Jamaican woman. But to come here in America, how difficult was it for you, just taking it on a personal note, to how difficult has it been for you, and how difficult do you believe it is for like women coming from that kind of environment to come into an environment where they should be seen and not heard, where they're not appreciated as much for their talents? Just as a woman and an accomplished woman, I just wanted your opinion on that.
So I can say this to you too, that there has been an evolution of acceptance. And we need to also understand that we're at a place now where, you know, Caribbean women and women across this country, across this world, have become, in most cases, accepted by men for leading.
Yeah.
Sometimes not just by economics, but sometimes by not, well, the issues would be economics, education, and just the ability to be breadwinners. And
Right.
seen this over the last 5 decades, where in all fairness, my sister, Jamaican women have long been economists, financiers. I mean, they're the ones who steer how we are, they're, I don't think there's ever been an opportunity where women have not been able to balance the budget. And so, we've come a long way. I think we also need to give credit to the men who have now realized the strength of a woman.
Finally.
And for those reasons, in our talking to our Jamaican and Caribbean men across the world, that they have really stepped up to the table too, to be supportive of their partners or their sisters, and along the line. I have, I'm the firstborn of 4 girls, so my role has always been as a leader. And I went to an all-girls school, for those St. Hugh's girls in the audience.
My sister went to St. Hugh's. My sister's a doctor too, Yale trained actually. She's from St. Hugh's.
There are a lot of us who are across this country proud of your sister as well. We've come a long way, and I think the acceptance of seeing the achievement. I commend the men who've been around us to know that it's not just to have a good woman behind you, but in front of you as well.
Yes, to encourage her, to help her to grow, to be supportive of her ideas, of her career, and so on. And I must be honest, our Caribbean men have always, to me, stepped up to the plate. We had a female leader long before many countries in the world. So I really want to take an opportunity, because I don't think the men get enough props for that. So shout out to the island men out there. Go ahead.
Before you go, Candice, I wanted to take a moment there to encourage our Caribbean men to not just allow the women this time around to vote, but come out and join us at the polls. Because a lot of time I don't want you to become too complacent and be too generous by pushing us ahead in this round. Because here's the thing. We need our brothers to come out and vote this time around. Black women have been carrying the mantle in so many ways, economically and politically.
True.
And so now I'm saying to our brothers out there, this is not the time to allow her to go vote while you stay home and eat the fish and the food that was provided. I'm saying to you today, put on the dominoes, leave the golf course, because right now our future depends on it.
Yes.
We've seen the challenges of not just the Black man in the street, but the Black boys whose lives are being taken. And so I'm asking you today, all of you in our hearing, there's still time, because registration is beyond that now. If you have registered to vote, I'm encouraging you to vote early. Let's do this not just for yourselves, but for your children. My Black brothers, my Caribbean brothers in our hearing, and everybody listening to us today, we need you to also take credit for this victory.
Yes.
By supporting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in this Democratic election cycle. So we're asking you today, we're literally being humble today too, not hackling. and saying, please come join us at the polls.
Beautifully said, and a great way for us to end this interview. Thank you so much, Dr. Karen Green, for coming. And you, as of course, you're a friend of the show, so please come back anytime.
Thank you too, and thank you for all you do. And make sure you get to the polls early as well. My love to everyone here. One love, and let's just secure Florida. Let's win. Florida wins. The world wins. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. That was Karen Green, Dr. Karen Green, here inside of Island Fever Live and Island Fever FM 98.5 FM in Orlando, and of course on Dash Satellite Radio. That is or this interview, but make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have so many interviews coming your way, so much content on Island Fever Live on YouTube.